What's up, my loves and fellow creatives? Let me know if you can hear me. I promised y'all we'd do a Sunday class, so I thought we could do a Valentine's love-inspired design. But of course, just like anything else that we do, you can re-envision this as a sports image and just about anything else. So the first thing that I'm going to do is go ahead and change this out to show you the template flip that we'll be doing this evening. And we'll do the class at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, this is me making up for not being able to attend class last Wednesday. So I did not forget, told y'all I'll do a class Sunday. So here we are. Let me check and make sure you all can hear me. Hey, hey, hey. I see y'all. What's up, Coach Helena? What's up, Coach E? Erica Kane in the building. Julia's Life. Hey, love. Trendy Lioness Couture. Hey, hey. From the Virgin Islands. Yes. What's up, Coach Corey? Monica, hey, love. Hey. And Coach Sharon, hello, hello. All right, so this one has a lot going on, but I do want to let you know you can disable whatever you want to, okay? So you can make it as extra or as ordinary as you want. All right, hey, T Crazy Girl, I'm glad you're here, baby. Let's get it, let's get it. All right, finding our way, hey, babe. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this template flip. I'm gonna do this flip, and your girl Coach Q is gonna kill me for it, but I loved this photo, and E, you know what I'm talking about. So we're gonna flip this template with that photo, but also I'm gonna show you a quick color change just in case. Now, Morama, I'm not certain if I'm saying your name correctly. One of those has to be wrong. But this photo was submitted for a template flip maybe a few weeks ago. So I really loved it, and I decided to use it for this template flip. So make sure that you contact Erica Kane in the Innate Creatives Facebook group so that she can give you access to the template in class for free, since we got to use your gorgeous photo here. Okay, now this color scheme we got going on right now is like kind of a turquoise and golden yellow. That's not the color of the original image, it's actually purple, but I like the purple too. But I think we're gonna go with more of a Valentine's Day feel, so we're gonna go with some pink, and it just so happened that your girl Coach Q had on a pink gorgeous dress in her photo. So we're gonna do a template flip based on that. So let me go ahead and make sure I save my little work. And I'm gonna teach you all a technique of basically creating a foreground and a background with the same image that you're gonna use from Remove BG. So I'll show you what I mean by that. Here is the cutout version of the image, and here's the background of the image. So I can use just the cutout, or you can use the cutout with the background and kind of achieve some very interesting results. And I'm going to show y'all how we do that. If you for class, you don't have to have a photo that has a appropriate background, but I want to show you how to do that. So let's go ahead and go to Remove BG first, because that photo is going to set things off for this image. All right, so Remove BG, here we go. And I'm going to take this beautiful photo right here. Just drag and drop it into Remove BG. It did a little cutout. It's a little weird around the fingers, but we're not worried about that. And obviously they're sitting on the bench. Isn't this gorgeous, y'all? Let's just take a moment and just acknowledge how gorgeous this is. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and download the HD version. This is gonna work if it's the HD version because it's gonna be the exact same pixel sizes. So let me download it. All right, now what happens is when we get ready to bring it in to Photoshop, I want to make sure that I'm actually going to be on this hue layer here because I want everything to go on top of this right now. So I'm going to have my folder open and I'm going to take the photo plus, and here, let me show you. You see how this is the removed background version versus the actual photo? I'm going to select both of those. And I just held down Control to skip that one in the middle. And I'm going to drag and drop both of those into the artboard and just hit enter without changing the size of anything. Okay, that means they're both in here together. Then what we're going to do is hold down Shift and select the two of them, and we're going to hit this link button. What that means is that whenever I move one, the other will move. You see that? Now what I'm going to do is take the one with the background and drag it underneath my Smart Color 4, and then I'll drag it above that Smart Color 4 because this is going to clip it down to this kind of artistic background here. And again, as I move it around, I can see those hard edges there, but I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And as long as my hard edges lie outside of the painted area, then I'm going to be fine. And check out what this does. What it does is it allows the foreground image, if you see that, the foreground image kind of pops out a little bit from the frame, just like the dress down here, because it is contour cut. But the background image kind of escapes into the artistic background here. And when you get to putting your image on, if you need to move anything, like this paint is in her face, we'll go to Splash 3, and we'll just move that out of the way because we don't want anything covering up these beautiful faces. All right, so that was the first step, just bringing in those photos. So that is a new technique that I want to teach you about, using Remove BG, or even if you were just removing the background manually, and just see how much of an effect that has. All right, so let's go ahead and make our swatches here. I'm going to choose from the pink here, and then I'll probably use some gray. So let's go ahead and grab our eyedropper tool. I'll select pink here. I'm going to grab a lighter and a darker pink. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my swatches. And I like to have my swatches in a different place than my layers because I'm going to need both of them. And I'm going to close up everything so you can see what happens. When I double click on the foreground and go to add to swatches, I'm just going to put the number 1 here. You should see it pop up down here at the bottom of your swatches panel. And I meant to tell y'all something. Let me stop that. When you go add to swatches, take this off. It tends to reselect and reinitiate this. You don't want this adding to your current library because it takes extra time. So watch how fast it goes this time without adding to the library. Boom, it's there. That's it. You see how before it had to load it to the library, and then it lets the cloud know that, hey, you have something in the library, and it uses internet resources, all that good stuff. So we're just going to avoid that altogether. All right, so second color, let's move this over a little bit so we can pick maybe one of these darker pinks here. One of the pinks in the shadows. Add to swatches. I'm going to call that color number 2. And then let's grab the gray. And actually my gray may end up being my color number 2. So this is a little bit darker gray. And I think we'll go gray and white. So let's add to swatches and let's call that 3. All right, so now that we have our swatches selected here, this makes for a nice little color palette. We want to kind of figure out what we want to change to which color. So for this one, I'm thinking that the pink will be changed out where the teal is, and where the yellow is, I'm going to do the gray. Okay, and that's just because I know those are my 2 primary colors, and I may use that darker pink, or I may just keep it black and white. All right, so let's go ahead and right click on the swatch here. Let's go to Smart Color 1. That one I'm going to change out to pink, so we're going to double click on it. And because we made up swatches, we don't even have to double click on this Smart Color. We can just choose the appropriate swatch. I'll close out, hit yes to save, and watch that update. So there's our pink. And let's go ahead and change out the second color. Double click on that one and let's choose that gray. All right, and I think the black is a little, well, you know what? These are the blacks. So I think I'm gonna change out the black color here, and let's do the darker pink. See how that looks. So we'll right click on the black, Smart Color 4, double click on that one. Let's change it to the darker pink and see how that comes out. Awesome, awesome. And let me just see what's going on. I want to make sure that my background colors are coloring how they need to. Something's going on because my color, my dark pink here is not coloring how I want, and my lighter pink is not coloring how I want. So let me take a look at what's going on here. Oh, I get it. Some of these are on normal and some of these are not. So let's see the background color. Yeah, my background color, I like the gray. The gray is coming through well. I think what's happening, my dark pink and my light pink are blending. That's what's going on there. And if I don't want that blending going on, I'm either gonna have to choose a color that doesn't fight with one another. Like the lighter pink is kind of fighting with the darker pink here. And let's go with the white background instead. The gray looks good too. It's kind of hard to decide here. I think I like the gray. And then let me see, I want to change this pink just a little bit. I feel like it's not as nice and vibrant as I want it to be. So I'm manually shifting that color. And yes, something's going on because it's not manually shifting how I want it to. And I did even turn off that other pink. So let's see what's going on here. Something's not recoloring here how I want it to. Oh, that's what it is. It's hue saturation. My silly Billy gumdrop behind. Okay, so this hue saturation was not, I knew something was off. It was not tagged down. So create a clipping mask. It wasn't tagged down to this image. You remember when I changed the sleeve from purple to teal? If you ever lose your clipping mask, this is what happens. It ends up recoloring the entire image below that. So that's what it was. Okay, I feel better now because that was about to drive your girl crazy. But at least you get to see in real time. I know this happens to y'all all the time because y'all ask me about it. What happens when you break a clipping mask? And now we know. Okay, there we go. So I even feel better about putting my darker pink in there now because I really wanted this to turn up more like a Valentine design. Okay, so that was it. I knew something was off and it was going to drive me crazy, but I was going to solve it right in front of y'all's eyes because I need y'all to know these kind of things happen in Photoshop, and if we can break it, we can fix it. All right, so now I can decide which color I want in the background without feeling like I have to choose. Oh gosh, all of these colors are so pretty. Okay, so let's go ahead and I think I'm gonna go with the darker pink. Let's see, because we may not choose that by the time we change out the patterns here. So I have two patterns. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna turn off the color overlay so you can see. There's some lips back here, and I have the smart colors. I even included just a basic color fill, so if you wanted something other than the smart color, y'all asked me that too. Well, what if we wanted a color other than the smart color? Then that's there for you. But let's see. I think I like the white. And then I have my opacity pulled down to 79%. We can pull it down more, or we can increase it. All right, and I like the white there, but you might like a different color depending on what colors you chose for your background. For me, if I'm gonna do an all over shirt, I do pretty much color the whole shirt. So I don't use that much white in the background because I don't like when the shirt's launder, the white sometimes picks up color and it just has it looking older sooner than it has to. But if it's fully colored, then you don't really have that issue. All right, so we have another pattern on here, and please don't feel like you have to use both of these patterns. I'm just showing you what this can do. So again, I will take off the color overlay, both colors, and then this one already has, I'll bring the opacity all the way up. So this is like a little watercolor pattern here, and you can make it smaller or larger. So I want y'all to really have fun with that. I really like that larger. That looks really cool. Bring it down just a little bit in size. There we go. And then if I want to bring the opacity down, I absolutely can. Bring the opacity down to 75 here. And then let's go ahead and make sure I save as, because I know I did a different version. Every time I do a different version, I like to do a save as just in case. All right, now you can do a flat color. So this blend mode is on normal, but let's say I wanted some of that watercolor appearance to show through. You know, it had some patterns and things in there that I thought were interesting. Then I could not do a normal, but I could go and try color. You see, color is gonna keep me with the same hue, but it's gonna take those different highlights and midtones and shadows, and it's just gonna replace that color with the color that I selected here. So this is no layer adjustment or color adjustment here. And then this one, I turn the blend mode to color. This one would be normal. See how it just recolors it? It just basically replaces every color, whether it has shadow or not, with the flat color here. So the flat color looks a little boring to me, especially since we've blown it up this big. So I might go with the color there. So let's see the difference. Color here. I think I like the darker color there. And these colors are very similar, so you don't really see that much of a difference when you use the color blend mode. And let's see opacity, if I want to stay full opacity. If I want to bring it down and make it more of, yeah, I think I want to bring it down because I still want to see the kisses through there. But I like how dynamic it looks. So I think I like the opacity around about 72% for this one. And again, even with the lips, we can double click on that. It's a pattern. So you can change the scale. Right now we're at 122. Maybe you want it larger or smaller. I think I like it there, that 122. And then the opacity here is on 62, but you can choose to make it higher opacity or even lower opacity. I'm thinking I like it around about 50%. All right, and then of course the text here, we'll be able to change out. So let's go to the last name. And you can just double click here and you change it out. And same thing with the text. And of course, if you're not doing a couples photo, you can change it to anything. If this was sports, and I'm going to do a sports version of this, y'all are going to think it's weird, but I'll do a sports version of this in a little bit. And that'll show you the versatility of it. But you can change out the, now what I did do is I limited the colors for the background because there's a lot going on. But for the text, you have the option to choose which color you want. So out of all your smart colors, you can choose which smart color you like best and roll with that one. So we changed out the photo, we changed out the colors, and we also changed out the text. So let's go ahead and get ready to save this. These are my simple steps to save. I'm going to take my foreground. And if you want to see what the foreground looks like, this is the foreground. You can use this by itself as a shirt design without even having to use the background. Okay, so the background looks like this with no photo in it. So you can imagine that might be a pretty cool backdrop, screensaver. You know, you might even want to use something like this for home decor, right? So let's go ahead and take the background. I'll right click, quick export as PNG. I'm going to make a new folder, and then this one will be my pink thing. That's my background. And you don't have to turn off the background in order to just export the foreground. It's only going to export what's in the folder. So let's quick export as PNG for the foreground. I'll put it in my pink folder. So now I have a file called background, a file called foreground, and then the entire art, which would be the foreground and background combined. We'll quick export that as PNG. Boom, put it in the pink folder. All right, so let's see what we have so far. This is how I want you all to start organizing your art, because then you can use it in so many different ways, including the Automizer, which is the cut and sew innovation where it automatically places the artwork in the appropriate places. But you can see here, this makes redesigning a breeze, because instead of re-pulling all of the Photoshop layers, you can change just your foreground, just your background, and then the art is the foreground plus the background layer. And that's what you can drag into your pillow template, or in our case where I was explaining the cut and sew template. And that makes it completely pain-free as far as having all those layers. So let's go to the pink version. We can see that we have the foreground, the background, and sorry it's a little blurry. I guess this is just previewing really slow here. And then the art looks like that one might still be saving. So that's that. So now we're going to take and flip this. The reason why I want to tell you to flip it, because you might not be doing anything live inspired, right? But the idea is still the same. So I would like for someone to give me their favorite NFL team, preferably one that's still in the realm of being able to win the Super Bowl. So I think it's down to 4 teams, right? So y'all give me a player and a team, and I'm going to show you how to do the same process with that. Hey, Coach Q. I'm so glad you dropped in. I was saying you were going to get me for this one, but yes, it is beautiful, and it's because we have a beautiful subject there, or 2 beautiful subjects there. But we know who the star is. All right, so I said, so this is version 2. We got our foreground, background. I'm still waiting on, okay, there we go. All right, so let's see. Patrick Mahomes, right? Is it Mahomes or Mahomes? I think it's Mahomes. I'm not sure. Y'all know I don't follow sports like that. That's why I rely on y'all to keep me straight. So let's find an image of Patrick Mahomes. Okay. And let's see, I want to find an image that has a background in it, because my whole point is showing you how to pull in the background image and basically not let it look like we need it, but it's still there. Let's see, he has some very good like emotional shots. You know, I'm big on, when I do sports images, making sure they actually stand out. So let's see. Let's do size. Let's check for large images first. I like this one because his hands are in there, and I think that's going to show y'all something pretty cool. All right, so let's go with this one. It's got a lot of motion in it. I love it. Let's go open the link in a new tab. Or can I just open the image in a new tab? There we go. Open image in a new tab. I do that because sometimes these internets be lying to y'all and telling you that a photo is large format and it's really not. This one looks good. So I'm going to save that as photo 3. I'm going to bring it on over here to remove BG. Make sure I save this one, because now I'm going to do a save as the version 3. Oh, I'm lying. I can't do anything till I finish saving. It's pronounced Mahomes. Mahomes. I'll get it together. All right, so let's do, we're gonna flip this out now, those colors, and I want to also did I download this one already? I feel like it got a little bit more I should be able to take out of there, but we can clean that up in Photoshop. All right, so and then once I need them, I open them up. All right, so let's go to the very top photo layer. We're gonna go to our folder and make that a little bit smaller. And I'm looking for photo 3. I'm looking for the one with the background and the one that's contour cut. I'm going to drag and drop it onto my artboard. Leave it up. I wasn't even supposed to touch that. Wherever it dropped in is where it drops in. Let me hit enter and enter. And if I don't mess with it, you see how this dropped in right on time, right in the place it needs to drop in? So I will place this one here. Let's turn off the pink photo now. And then I will place the background image there. And I forgot to link them first. So that's what I was supposed to do first. But I can go ahead and link them now. There we go. So once I link them, they move together in unison. See how I can make him even pop out of the top of the paint splash a little bit there? That's what I like to see. See how he's popping out of the frame there? You can do that when you have the background in the foreground separated like that. Now, of course, y'all know that I'm not going to be for any of this hard line down here. We need to fade that off. So instead of fading it off in one place now, I would actually have to fade it off in 2 because it's also in the background. So I'll turn this off for a moment to see if, honestly, I think that I'm making it down here. But just in case I'm not, let's fade it off. Let's add a layer mask, grab our paintbrush tool here. Yep, I saw that. It was definitely a little faint line there. But now we're going to do the same thing here. Now get this. All I have to do is take this layer mask, Alt, Control, well, I'm just Alt dragging it. And Alt means to create a copy. And it did not do that. Hold on a second, it just moved it. So I'm gonna hold down Alt and drag it, and you see how it turns into a double arrow? So it just duplicated. And if I feel like it's faded a little too much here, I don't want his knuckles faded off. I want them to kind of look like they're popping out. So let's go grab my white here, and I'm gonna add the knuckles back in there. Here we go. Perfect. All right, so those who are pretty much in love with Patrick Mahomes, hopefully I said that right this time, then maybe you would want this to be a Valentine's kissy design. But for most of you sports fans out there, I doubt that's the case. So let's go ahead and make this sportier. First, let's just change out the colors. And in order to change out the colors, I like to have a source like the logo. So let's find the logo, and I'm gonna make it into a pattern, see how that does. Let's see, so that would be what, Kansas City Chiefs logo. And I would like to find one that has the yellow in it so I can pick the color. And it wasn't my intention to show you how to make a pattern, because we have several classes showing you how to make a pattern. But let's see, if it doesn't take too long, I'll go ahead and pull it together here, so at least you have that resource. Usually when I see their logo, it has very little of the yellow in it. I actually really want the yellow. Now, I'm not sure how official any of these images are, so yeah, that's pixelated. But I guess I can show you how it looks. It's gonna be small, so let's go ahead and save that image. And then what I'm gonna do is, we're not doing all this in class, y'all, so I'm just showing y'all how to show out a little bit, but I promise you we are not doing this in class. We're gonna stick with what we have, and of course I'm showing you how to do a variation. All right, so let's select the inverse of that, and I'm gonna make sure this is nice and smooth. Looks like I could have cut out a little bit more of that red. I'm gonna do a stroke. Yep, so when I saw that stroke, this definitely let me know that was not a clean cut. So let's go back. I'm gonna need this to be a little bit cleaner. See how I was selecting all that extra stuff? Let me change my tolerance to 32 so I can grab some more of it. There we go, I think that's gonna be a bit better. Now we'll select the inverse, so we have the inside meat. Select a mask, and I'm gonna change my mask color to like a weird color that I know it'll clean up well. And you see these little jagged edges, this little JE heartbreak? Oh, it just does something to me. But I'm smoothing it out, so at least visually it's a little bit better. And it's not going to be perfect because the original image is not very clean, but at least I have what I need. Okay, so I'm going to take this right here and we'll make a quick pattern. Okay, so file new. I'm going to make this 1000 by 1000 pixels. Y'all do not ask me to do this in class. If you want to know how to do patterns, class number 105 does the patterns as well. So what I'm doing, I'm going to double click, make the background a layer so I can turn it off. Take this little image here now and put it on there. And I'm just going to make a really quick pattern. So see how it snapped there to the center? That's one. Maybe make that one a little bit smaller. And this is not exactly a random pattern or a pattern that I have put much thought into. However, we're going to make it do what it do. And I don't want to put the logo upside down. There we go. So this is just a very crude pattern. I'm actually going to get this as close as I can to these edges here. So if you do class number 105, it actually has something like this already built in. So all you have to do is change out one of these objects. And it's a smart object, so it updates every place that it has the logo. So that's class number 105. Alright, and then I'll make this one a bit bigger than this. File, save as. And we'll save this as KC pattern. Hey, let me know if y'all are still with me. I'm getting a weird message from YouTube saying that the streaming is not working. Alright, so I can close out of that now. Don't need to save that. And we did have a pattern already established, but I'm going to do a new pattern. So I'm going to select the very top layer here, go to our new adjustment layer, and instead of a color, I'm going to do a pattern. And because we've established a pattern, here it goes. And in this case, it already has the color, so we don't need to recolor it, but maybe we want to and this is not a good representation of the pattern. I think you'd be better off doing 105 because this is a little quick pattern representation. But like I said, we're gonna make it do what it do. Okay, and then I'll leave the kisses in there just so that you remember that you can do multiple patterns, or you can turn it off. You can also take this fade off layer here, and I'm going to put it on because I feel like this pattern is a little too much. There we go. I'm going to fade that off just a little bit there. And let's do black. And something weird is happening when I do this now. It might be Photoshop tripping because I'm doing a live stream. Because it should not be showing black down here. It actually should be fading this off right now. Yeah, I think this is a display error. But yeah, because I see things glitching over here on this end. Yeah, I think it's an internet issue. I apologize, y'all, but we've been having some issues lately. So let me go ahead and save my good works. And then what we're gonna do is go ahead and make our color palette. And I'm gonna pull it from the logo versus, oh, I also have a canvas texture in here for y'all. So you can turn it off if you don't like it, but it gives it a little interesting texture. Let's go ahead and grab some color picker tool. Let's grab the yellow. If you want to be specific, you can actually get the team color, the hex codes. But we're going to make this really quick. And then let's go ahead and grab the red. And then the other two colors are just black and white. And let's go ahead and recolor. Swatch number 1 will make the red. And swatch number 2 will make the yellow. And I think we'll go back to color number 4. Let's do that one, black. All right. So interesting combination of colors. You'll be able to, in class, of course, change out which colors display where. I'm still a little upset that my fade off isn't working right here. Yeah, this is a Photoshop issue. Y'all see this? It's tripping. So it's not me. It's the Photoshop with the internet and live streaming. I thought that was something odd. That's the reason why it didn't fade off real softly. So apparently it's using up a lot of resources and it's not going to let me do it online while I'm live streaming. But I think if I even close out of this file and come back to it, it would have the appropriate fade off. Let me test that theory. You like the pattern bigger? Let's go bigger. And then what I'm doing is I'm saving it right now. I'm gonna see if I open it back up if the fade off is gonna be correct now. But you get the idea. My point is basically that you do not have to work with something just as you see it. Like obviously this is more of a lovey-dovey Valentine's Day design, but you can use the elements which are very universal. An artistic watercolor kind of splash theme with a pattern that could be used for anything you can imagine. Alright, so I'm going to close out and see if I can open this back up. Make sure it saved my different versions. Oh, I did save that before we got it changed out. So let's go back to our version 2. So that's our version 2. And then I'm pushing it by opening all these things. So I just wanted to, I already have version 1. So version 2, I save that one as well. And version 3 is the one giving me hiccups, but this is basically just an alternate view that you all can change out. The same way I did this is how you can do this as well. And y'all already know I'm not going to give you a file with anything like that in it, so you'll be able to recreate it if you want to, of course, for personal use. Recreate that, then absolutely you will follow those same exact steps in this video. All right. I really hate that this doesn't show you what I wanted to show you, but I think you get the idea here. You see how the fade off works down here? It should work the same here, but it's just not doing it. So we'll just leave that on there. All right, now I did want you all to be able to see that you could do, I know a lot of you have been doing this too, using the socks. Especially if you're pressing it all over, pressing the socks down there. I think that'll be dope. And then also you can use this kind of setup to do some underwear. So do I have some time? I think I have some time. Let's go ahead and build out a mock-up where you're also doing let's do underwear, socks, and t-shirt. Make it real Valentine-y. And of course you would change out the text and stuff here, but y'all get that part. Let's go ahead and let me choose a template from the Academy, a mock-up template that already has at least the socks and t-shirt, because we haven't done the underwear yet. Let's see which one has socks and shirt. I don't want it to be a mega file because those are pretty large. So I'm going to stick with one. I was trying not to do a mega pack file because these things are really large. $154. We can do 154. And then I'll take some of those things off. So 154 mock-up. And this is what I want y'all to do too. If I don't give you a mock-up file, not every single file I'm going to mock up, but the same way I'm doing this right now, go to a course that does have a mock-up. I'm sure you have access to one that does have a mock-up, and then just look for the mock-up file. Oh, duh, that wasn't the actual mock-up file. This is. All right, so I'm gonna end up simplifying this a little bit. And this is why I was saying this is so much easier when you have things set up. The full art here. We made a folder. 164. Pink version. Of course, I gotta represent for Coach Q. All right, so let's go ahead and put that one in there. I'm supposed to drag and drop. All right, and see how it has that canvas texture in there? If you don't like the canvas texture, just turn that layer off. Right, and there's a baseball jersey. The t-shirt has the 13 by 19 on it, but you can also put the full image on there as well. Then I'll take the Oliver-ish off. And this one kind of represents if you just put the socks down on the side of the shirt. That's how that one works out. If you change out your foreground here, if you want to do a tumbler, I guess I'll let y'all have the tumbler one for this one, because I was trying not to let y'all have too complicated of a file. But you can see how once you have things, zoom in a little bit here. Once you have your background separate from your foreground, see how I can now make the tumbler wrap look like it is long, or it's wider than it is tall. So if you wanted to, you would have to basically place your art separate. Now this one looks like it's wrapping there. And I know y'all probably want to keep all this, but I'm going to take off the hoodie. Because I showed y'all where this is now, where you can get it. The 13 by 19 version. I'm just going to drop the foreground in here because we did a foreground instead of a 13 by 19. And now you can see, and this is technically more of a jumbo print here. All right, so I am also, y'all aren't gonna like this, I'm gonna get rid of the jersey too, because I just want underwear, t-shirt, socks, right? Let's go ahead and go to baseball. I'm gonna delete that one too. And the only reason why I'm leaving the tumblers on there because it's a hot upsell type of item. So we'll leave that one on there. I'm going to duplicate the shirt because I do want to show the difference of it being all over print. So we're going to activate the all over print on that one. There we go. All right, so let's see. I think I have some silky socks underwear. Gotta figure out where that file is in my drive because I think they're pretty large. All right, so I'm not gonna do the whole template. I'm just gonna do a mock-up. Let's see. Let's do the longer boxers. And I have some silky socks, boxers, and bras that I'll be trying out, so we'll see how this works out. All right, so let's go ahead and bring, well, first let's open that up because I want to make sure I make it a PNG. And let's try the object tool. I've heard this has been improved in Photoshop. We shall see. It uses up some of your RAM because it has to think. So hopefully it functions well while we're live. I'm just going to choose the select subject and it's going to use its artificial intelligence to figure out the foreground from the background. The same way Remove BG does, and that looks good there. Let's go select and mask, make sure there's a clean edge there. Good deal. And then I'm going to apply the layer mask. And this will be a boxer. So we'll take this. Probably going to be huge here. And see how it clipped down to here is because I did not tell it to pull it in at the level I wanted it to. There we go. Boxes are there. I think I'm going to pull it below the tumbler. And same idea here. If we wanted to do just the background here, then I'm going to pull in the background separate. And this also kind of mimics the process that you would be sublimating this item. So this does give you an idea of how big your image needs to be and how you need to arrange it. So let's create a clipping mask there, and I'm going to change the blend mode to multiply. Now because I can't see like my seams and stuff too well, I'm actually take a version of this, bring it above here, and I'm going to change the levels. Kind of intensify the shadows, and let's go ahead and create a clipping mask. And what I'm attempting to do is get a little more of the shadows in there. And then I will merge that down, and then now let's add a multiply. Let's see. I think hard light is good there too. My attempt is to kind of show the texture, of course, of the layers underneath, and also kind of how it's going to sublimate. You know it's not going to sublimate smoothly and seamlessly over these scenes, so I'm looking for a way to convey that to the customer. Alright, so I got hard light on there. I think that does what it needs to do. So we need to go ahead and link these two so they always resize together. And y'all got you some silky drawers. And let's say on this one you wanted to take the foreground and put it on the boxer somewhere. I'm gonna pull it over here and maybe one side, because this is what I'm kind of explaining to you. You can't just take one t-shirt design and just use it willy-nilly on every little thing. You're going to have to rearrange, you're going to have to resize. And in this case, maybe even re-angle, like if you wanted it like it's going down the leg. But I would just keep it simple. Make your image a little bit smaller so you don't have to deal with cutting off anything like text or people's faces. I'm gonna pull this down, and that way it clips back to this layer, and then I need to reclip this layer. So I want all of this to stay together. And same thing with the socks, y'all. You can do the oversized print where you just print from the side of the socks, or we can take the socks. Just take another version of the socks, pull it down here. And then for this one, this pair, I'm going to put the background image. So you can make it as small as you want. So let's bring a copy of the background here. Bring it over here to the socks. I'm going to take this layer mask, since I already made a copy, and I'm going to replace that layer mask. Okay, you see the difference there? This one would be the sides here of this sock, and this one is more of a representation of what the overall background was here. So again, if you wanted to place your image on there, you could take that whole 13 by 19, or in this case, the foreground image, and you can put your foreground image there on the socks. I'm not a one for putting the sock images with tiny letters on there because a lot of times they're not legible by the time you stretch your socks out and put them on your legs. So I like to keep it simple and just do a very simple logo, if anything, on the socks. Maybe some simple text that's large enough to read, but I don't like putting a bunch of small images on the sock because I think you lose that a lot of times once you actually put them on. Okay, so I think we got that. Let me call this 164. Why not? And this we'll call Love is Art. So let me know if y'all can still hear me. Because Coach Elaine is saying she can't hear anymore. I apologize, y'all. I don't know what's going on with the internet. But I hope that this makes it through. And this will be a 5-minute Photoshop template. All right, so I think we cleaned that up good enough. And let's go ahead and make that a folder called Boxer. And if you want to, then maybe we can do one where we do the boxer, underwear, bra, and that sort of thing, and do a pattern project for that. I think that'll be interesting. All right, there we go. I want this to be as simple as possible. All right, so this one. Will come with the hearts and lips pattern. And then this one is going to have smart color change. We're doing the pattern. We're also, you can update your text. And then you can add your own photo. All right, all right. Don't start with that sports talk over here. He says the Chiefs lost. Oh. Y'all know y'all get into these sports like politics and stuff, and my name Bennett and I ain't in it. I love whatever brings me coins and brings y'all joy. So I'm gonna stay out of the sports drama. But I know y'all will keep it going in the comments. All right, so I'm just changing color scheme here. And Coach Q, I don't know if you're still here, but let me know if it's okay if I use this image. I don't want to get us in trouble with the Mister. I know you run the show though, but you know we gotta let him feel like he has some say so. All right. So I think this is it. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that I save as, because I did not save this as 164 mock-up. So you all will get this mock-up after class, of course. And let's go ahead and save that for web. And then let's go ahead and change these out real quick so I can show you how quick it is to change these out. So background, we're going to go to our teal and yellow version. Boom. That's a PNG, so I have to get rid of the previous layer. Hey, Coach Toya. All right, so now that changed out the background. This one will change out the full art. And then, of course, the foreground. Now, in this case, our foreground is the same as our 13 by 19. And you'll see how easy that's going to be to change out your mock-up. So I cleaned it up. You're not going to have to do everything I did on this mock-up, but that's what you'll be doing. All right, awesome. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save this as a save that as an example as well. All right, so we're done, y'all. I will see you in class at 8 o'clock. I'll go ahead and have this uploaded for you. Of course, like I said, we won't be doing the mock-up together, but you see how easy it is to switch this out now. All right. So I was checking to make sure y'all didn't have any questions here. I think we're good. Yeah, I've had some blank ones for a while too, some Silky Socks blank. So I am really eager to try them out, especially since I have I've been seeing you all do your thing with them as well. Good deal, good deal. All right, my love, so I will see y'all in class tonight, and if not, y'all can catch the replay. So I think we did a pretty cool thing here, so I can't wait to see what you all come up with in class. And if y'all tune in tonight, if you're not able to make class, then we'll probably go live and show the results from class. So anyone who's in class, you'll get a chance to show off and also highlight your business. All right, so it seems like we're on the same page here. All right, so I'll see y'all in just a little bit. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all dearly. Until next time, bye.